All right, well, welcome back out there in Maeya TV land. I am one of your hosts, Nina Childs, and I am here today with the incomparable comedian, producer, actress, writer, radio personality, and host, Courtney Black.
What's up, y'all?
All right, welcome, Courtney. Thanks for coming and
Thank
talking
you
to
for
us.
having me. This is amazing.
Well, you know what? You're amazing. I met Courtney 12 years ago doing a radio interview. She was in her element. And now we're here. She's done so many wonderful things, and I'm just really excited to talk to you today about everything you got going on.
It's great. She was on my show 12 years ago, and now I'm on yours. It's full circle.
Full circle moment. There it is. I always like to start with letting the people out there know, like, where you're from. Where are you from? Are you a California native? Or?
Not at all. East Coast girl, originally from Washington, D.C., Northwest Uptown, not
Okay.
Virginia.
You're from DMV area?
Yeah, D.C.
D.C. So you know Dave Chappelle?
Do I know? I've met him a few times, but yeah, I don't know. I'm like, what is that?
You guys didn't grow up together?
No, it's an age gap with that.
Okay, I'm sure. But you guys grew up in the same area.
Yes.
That's pretty dope.
Yes.
All right. And then, so you are a comedian primarily.
Correct.
And you do all these other things. You're multi-hyphenate. How did you get started in comedy?
It's a really crazy story. I was in the medical field. I come from parents who were like Black couples born in the South Carolina. They were college sweethearts, moved to DC. My dad got a job, so that's how we got to DC. But they were, Black people from the South, you got to get an education and a career, not a job, to make it in America, you know, for a Black person. And so they were really strict growing up, all about school. I have 2 degrees. I used to do cancer research. Like, I wanted to be a doctor when I was younger. You didn't know anything else?
I don't know anything about this, Courtney. I just always wanted to be a comedian.
Yeah, so my sister, honestly, it was God. I've always been funny, but again, we couldn't tap into our artistic stuff because of our parents. We patroned the arts, but being an artiste, no.
They were like, no,
future.
you're going to starve to death.
Exactly. So, doing my cancer research, my sister was out here. She begged me to move out to LA. She was divorced with 2 kids, come out here. And
Help me out.
Right. I fought it forever. But at the same time, I was getting bored of Atlanta. So I was thinking of moving back to DC. Didn't want to do the cold anymore. Atlanta had me already a little spoiled with the weather. So I, literally, it's too long of a story, but God burned down my new apartment building. Then my laboratory closed down, and I kept asking, like, are you sure I'm supposed to go? Give me a sign. And then the sign was the apartment burning down, and then I still was hard-headed. And then I asked for another sign, and then the laboratory closed down next week. So I was like, okay, I guess I'm supposed to go to California.
That's crazy. Yeah. Your apartment burned down?
Yeah.
Just your apartment or the whole building?
Well, it was a new building that I was going to move into, and that whole complex was on fire with fire people on cranes. It was huge.
So it was insurance.
My sister saw it out here. Well, no, I had put my deposit down. It wasn't. They were
I'm talking about whoever owned it. It could have been. Because who burned it?
It could have been. But no, it wasn't. It was in the middle of them building it, so I think something just happened to wiring or something. Yeah, because it was going to be nice. It was so nice. But anyway, yeah, so I came out here, but I wasn't coming for the arts, I still went into cancer research. In Atlanta, I worked on the patient side, and when I came out here, I worked on the pharmaceutical side. So like Johnson & Johnson, they're trying to get like a drug pass for prostate cancer or, any.
So you're working with the CDC and the FDA and all that.
Exactly. So my lab was an FDA approved lab. So they like to come to us because it was a one-stop shop. We did the studies and we could approve it for FDA.
Were you making people laugh at work?
I mean, I make people laugh all the time, but not intentionally. And that's why it was really hard for me to do stand-up because I'm a book girl and they're like, just be, you're so funny. So it's really hard to you understand what I'm saying?
I understand exactly what you're saying.
To get your natural personality when you're but to be a comedian is to write a joke. So it was a hard transition, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. And I'm still transitioning, still trying to find my voice and just trust more and more in me every day. Just be Courtney Black. So.
That's really cool. Well, I only know you as Courtney Black. Courtney Black Comedy Online. And so you kind of came out here and what did you follow to first? Radio? Did you start doing open mic nights?
No, acting. My sister, I had a birthday and my sister said, oh, when you were younger, she's my older sister, you always wanted to be an actress. And I was like, really? I did want to model and I did want to do some other things. She said, yeah, I used to say that all the time. And I was like, okay. So, I had a birthday. I was like, you know what? I'm out here. Let me pursue it. I can always go back to the medical field. And so I started that. But what happened is that I would say my prayers every night, and in my prayers, like doing an audition in a white room, like these walls, I couldn't make the character come to life, right? So I was not doing well on my auditions, but I was doing background work, which I had no idea was a thing. I didn't know people got paid to be in the background. And so I would do that. That was my job. I quit the medical field and I actually got fired, so that's a lie. But that fire was like, let me not lie.
It set you on your path.
It set me on my path. Sometimes getting fired, y'all, is a gateway to your destiny.
Okay, that's a good thing. I got fired about 2 months ago.
Hello,
so I'm gonna take that.
Girl, take it. We here now. So, so what was I saying? Oh, yes, I was saying my prayers, and I would say, God, give me a venue where I could say my own voice. I forgot to say this. My girlfriend for 2 years had been in my ear saying, Courtney, you need to do stand-up. I will help. She's a photographer. You need to do stand-up. And I kept, girl, I'm the funny one. I have a smart mouth. I always had a smart mouth. My mother used to pop me in my mouth when I was younger. And so I'm good with retorts. And I was like, girl, I can say something funny back.
You're just witty.
I'm witty, but I can't be on stage and start being, like, I can't just be up there and saying something funny. So I kept telling her no. At the same time, I'm not doing well in auditions, but I'm getting upgraded on set. When I'm in set on doing background.
Talking to people and being funny.
Well, no, but I think the environment, like I said, I couldn't make the white walls in an audition room come alive. But when I was on set, and yeah, I was personable and talking, so I got the opportunity. But then I also became like the quick little character, and I would get upgraded. So I was just praying, like, God, give me a venue where I could say my own words and whatever. So I'm doing this for 2 years, child, literally. And then one day it came, and I was like, oh my God, it's stand-up. My girlfriend's still in my ear. And I'm still, saying I need to do stand-up. And I'm saying I need a venue to say my own words. And it was just, I was on my knees saying my prayers. And I was like, oh my God, it's stand-up. But me being a book girl, I still, like, took a class. And, like, I was writing a script to what's it called? For Martin Lawrence's company. Pitch to Martin Lawrence's company. Mm-hmm. So I had, like, all those characters in my head. So I just couldn't jump in it right then. But I did take a class and, do all that. But that's how I got started into comedy. And so when I told my girlfriend, I said, girl, I decided I'm going to do stand-up. She said, good, you're going to do my Christmas show. Mind you, this is like end of October, early November. She was having a Christmas show. She moved into a new photography studio on Sunset in like a month and a half. And so that was going to be my first stand-up show. It was, we're all vibing. She knows talent. Everybody's singing or, doing their little thing. She comes to me. She's like, Court, you're going to be up in 5 minutes. And I was like, what? I was like talking to my friends. Girl, why did the big tears roll down my eye? I was like, what is happening? It was like an emotional,
nervous wreck.
Whatever. So, and I always say this part too. There was a girlfriend I was sitting with. She said, you don't have to do it, girl. Don't listen to people like that. You know what I'm saying? Because I got so worked up and anxious, and my anxiety was off the charts. People were little haters, even though they're your friends. So I just went outside, got some air. I was like, no, I have to do it. I had prepared for this.
Can't turn down no fades.
Can't turn down. Hello. So went out, got my air, and literally when I got there and the first words came out, and it was easy. They laughed, and it was easy going after that. But like I said, I still didn't even hit it because I was taking the class and then writing the script and stuff. But that's how I actually got into stand-up.
That was a long roundabout way to get there.
I know.
Most people were like, I started at 13 or I just started doing
clubs. I would
never
never have thought that I was going to be a stand-up comedian.
That's
ever.
usually when it works out.
Yeah.
When it's like something that you didn't plan on doing.
I have never ever said
I want to be a comedian.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, but now you're flourishing, especially in the hosting space.
Thank you.
I've seen videos of you on stage hosting. You really come alive. You're really funny.
Thank you.
And you have a way of kind of setting the tone of a night.
Thank you.
So
that's
yeah,
nice.
you hosted my gala. Remember?
I hosted what?
My gala years ago. Years ago you did. See? You're like, you're just always on the move too.
I know.
Yeah. I think it was back in 2017.
Oh, wow.
This was like pre-COVID. So yeah,
And
you were
happy
really good.
with my report.
Very happy. Very happy. You have like I said, a way of putting people at ease and
Thank
getting them
you.
ready for the night.
Yeah, it's weird. Even outside of comedy, I've always been that person with strangers who will come up and like tell me their story and tell me like a secret.
Like why are you telling me this?
I've never told anybody this. I've had that all the time. So I make people feel at ease. I've also had people all my life be like, you look just like my aunt, or you look just like my cousin, or my best friend. So
the familiar face, the familiarity.
So I don't know. I guess there's a way that I can just make people feel comfortable, which is nice.
I love that.
Yeah.
And so with you having jumped into stand-up and now you being into it for the last, 10 or 12 years?
More like 14.
14?
Yeah.
Okay, I met you 12 years ago, but you're already 2 years in.
Yeah.
And, you're here and you're doing what you're doing now. What are you currently working on that you can talk about that you're excited about?
Right. Oh, I'm super excited. Well, I shot my special. I shot my comedy special.
You guys, I saw the trailer. I wanted to melt. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
You look amazing.
Thank
you sound amazing. You're funny.
Thank
I can't wait. What is this special called?
It's called Standards. So I've had some standards, and I have gone against my standards.
And we're all lowered our standards. You're going to sell from here. You know your worth, but you're going to sell here. So.
Exactly. So I'm excited about that. Self-produced, so I still have to shop it. We just got the trailer done. I also wrote and produced a animation. It's called the Courtney Black Project, because I'm a project. And so I have a trailer. I'll be shopping that. I also have... When I shot my special, I shot because I wanted to use the most of my money, so I also shot a second show. I had 3 openers, and they did 10 minutes each. So there's going to be a weekly show. It's called Comedy Breakout. We have 3 comedians do 10 minutes each week. Then other than that, I did what was it called? Comedy something. I taped something in January. It should be coming out for another company. And West Coast Comedy Jam should be coming out by the end of the summer. I taped that last year.
Water break for me. We get so hot down here.
That's okay.
I gotta have my water. So, West Coast Comedy Jam, was that like you and a bunch of other comedians?
Yeah, I got called for that. Scruncho is hosting it.
I know Scruncho.
Go way back. Phil Barker is the producer on it. What's my guy from the Bay Area? I can't think, but yeah, so they called me to get on it, and it was fun, a lot of fun. So that should be coming out soon.
But you're special.
Yes.
That's the big thing. That's the big thing.
Yeah.
That's like what every comedian is working towards, either special or a TV show.
Right.
What are you doing in the radio space?
You know, nothing right now. I'm trying to decide, like, should I start a podcast or even just doing clips or something? But, you know, my radio is dear to my heart. I kind of fell into that, too. My first one was Gen U, Generation U Radio, where I met you on.
You're great in that space.
And we did that for 3 years. And then I went on with J. Anthony Brown for his weekend countdown show. I was his co-host. We're going to be roasting him next week.
Oh, that's
fun.
fun.
Yeah. And then I did Cheryl Underwood Radio for 5 years until that ended. So just trying to see what do I want commercial radio or do I want,
what you used to, which is like,
exactly.
What is that? Like that? What is the syndicated radio, right?
Yeah. But you have a little more leeway when it's, as opposed to following all the FCC guidelines. I know. So maybe I'll just do like a podcast or something. I'm still deciding on that, but I do love my radio voice.
I do too. I think that you're great in that space.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
You're great in that space. So that's what's coming up, right?
Yeah.
You're special. You're figuring out what you're going to do with the radio. You got some things coming up. Your animated thing that you're going to be shopping soon. What about any kind of dream collabs? Like, who is somebody that you would love to work with? Or a dream project that you like?
Oh, a dream project. You put me on the spot.
Cerebral questions. Like, because I think it's good to dream,
Yeah.
You're so busy sometimes, like, making things happen.
I know.
That sometimes you forget to, like, dream.
You don't even look for tomorrow because you're still trying to get through today.
That part.
Dream collabs. I think me and J. Anthony Brown should do something together. We're just such a great duo.
What do you mean, like a father-daughter show or something like that?
Something
that
like
would be really cool.
Or niece and uncle maybe or something. But we're funny. I'm gonna pitch that to him now that you made me.
Well, there you go.
There we go.
Look, here we go. Make me a producer. Please.
Okay, I'll do that. And then you came up with the idea.
That's cool. I mean, he's within your reach.
Right. You can catch him on Tyler Perry right now. But,
really?
Yeah. I always forget the name of his show. But
Tyler Perry has so many shows. He's got Beauty and Black right now.
Yeah, that's good.
And he's got a bunch of stuff on
it's
the President's
comedy.
Is it on BT Plus?
I think so. Assisted living.
Assisted living.
Yeah.
I have heard about that. He is on that.
Yes, he's on that. So.
Oh my goodness. Well, shout out to J. Anthony Brown. He's a legend.
He is.
He really is. Shout out to him. So that's a dream collab.
You're right. Like I have just been so grinding and not to say on myself, but comedy is like a lonely entity. It is.
You're kind of up there by yourself.
Yeah, you're up there by yourself. Your jokes are, you're doing the writing by yourself. I've never been in a clique. Sometimes there are cliques, and I've never been in a comedy clique. I'm like, I have friends everywhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You know everybody.
Yeah, I know everybody. And I'm just super personable. And I don't know. So I really have not thought of the dream collab. I know when hopefully all the time, but most times when to say yes and when to say no. I know when to say no to some things. But yeah. Of course, there's so many people I would love to work with.
I think that J. Anthony Brown, I mean, somebody within your reach, I think that's a great start.
That is. But yeah, Kevin Hart, Chappelle, I would love to work with Chappelle.
And Kevin Hart's one of the nicest guys in the industry.
He is. He's sweet.
He's always been so super, super nice. What would you tell to any kind of aspiring comedians that are coming up, people that are just, like maybe somebody like you who's wanted to do this, doesn't really quite know how to go about it? What is some practical advice you could give them that would help you on your way up?
I mean, like I said, I knew nothing. I came from the medical field, so I knew nothing about entertainment in general. I'm very inquisitive and curious by nature, so I'm going to Google everything. And if you're interested in comedy, you got to get on stage. You have to just start writing. Go to open mics. Even if you don't get up, go and feel the environment, feel the energy. Don't let it punk you out. This is can you have time for another story?
You do.
Okay, so how everybody's gonna quit. Like you're almost gonna quit when you start, especially if you're not sure that you're even supposed to be doing this like I was. So I started at the J Spot, J. Anthony Brown's Club. Wednesday night was the hottest night, standing room only, it's packed. That was Jay's night. He was there and he would host or something and perform. But the first host was Kedar, you know Kedar?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he's from DC. So I came in, it's packed. I've been doing, so my school, my teacher was a white teacher, and so I had done the improv on white night and
flappers, all that.
Yes. So y'all, there's a difference between
house.
White comedy and black comedy.
Very
now,
much
J
so.
Spot is a black comedy club. So I went in there, it was packed, and then Kedar was by the door, it just happened. And I'm like, hey, he's like, oh, you a comedian? After I said, he said, yeah, you from DC? Okay, I'll get you some time. They'll never give you time, child. He had time today. They put me on that stage in that crowded ass black club, and I bombed. Yes, I did. I bombed. Then I said, oh shoot, I would take my sets and listen to them every night. I was very disciplined and go over my, and write and everything. Came back the next Wednesday. I didn't bomb as bad, but I still bombed. It wasn't as quiet. I mean, the bomb was like, you could hear a pin drop. The next weekend, Lunel was there, and she did help me. She was over there, and she's like, yeah, I had this Prius joke. It was so funny. I'm gonna bring that joke back, because it was so funny. But she helped me, because she screamed something out in the audience, and they were like, oh, yeah, okay. And they were like, y'all know the Prius, something. But anyway, so I got chuckles that night. I said, Lord, so you know me, I'm a praying person, honey. I said, okay, this is my second Wednesday. I'm going to go back next week. I'm giving this 3 chances, Lord. I'm going to give it 3 chances. If I don't do well next Wednesday, comedy's not for me. That ain't where I'm supposed to be.
Path.
Listen to my stuff, wrote, came back on that next Wednesday, and it was, the audience.
Ain't that something? I was like, I'm going to let you get to your breaking point. And then I'm going to show up.
And so then I was like, oh my God. And it's such a good feeling when everybody's laughing, and it's just, it is a high. Like,
and then after the show, everybody's like, you did great.
Oh my
Other
God.
comedians are like, you did great.
Yeah, that's it.
You're going to be on my show. I'm doing something.
Yeah, but that third chance, I was going to give up if I bombed again. And it was a total opposite, and it just felt so good. So that let me know to stay in the game. It ain't that I didn't bomb again after that, but after that time, I knew that this is where I'm supposed to be.
But then you also learn, too, that bombing is just a part of the game.
Oh, and every time you bomb, you learn something.
Yeah, you have to. You have to bomb.
Yeah,
you have to
gotta
bomb.
bomb.
You bomb with films. I'm a filmmaker. You bomb with films.
You bomb with life.
You bomb with songs. You bomb with any kind of artistic expression.
Or are you going to learn something from that bomb? Yeah. I bombed one time at the Comedy Store. It was a light night. Saturday light night with 5 celebrities.
Saturday Entertainer.
Like 10 people in the main room. This is the big room in the Comedy Store in Los Angeles on Sunset. Cedric the Entertainer, his manager, and one guy, 3 people. T.I. with about 5. Can I cuss on this?
Well, I think you already have.
With I was gonna say 5 B's, 5 girls and a couple of guys. He had about 7 people, and then there was a couple and 2 couples right at the table. So it was light, but then you got, man, I'm doing a set where it would work if the crowd was full. Now, I know I put my thing on silent. I'm doing where the crowd would be full, but when you have 11 people, you don't do that.
Yeah, you have to do crowd work. You have to adjust your
So
show.
I'm doing my jokes. I'm still new. I'm doing my jokes, and I bombed. But I bet you I ain't never do that again. Ever since that night, I know how to talk to the end of, bring the room alive before you just be reciting some jokes. You know what I mean? And
That's right.
And I had been trying to do that before, and I couldn't. But once you bomb, it's gonna make you do it.
Yeah, you learn how to do crowd work real quick.
Real quick.
Yeah,
So.
well, that's amazing. Well, we know what's coming up next for you. I cannot wait to see your special standards. I can't wait to share the trailer on social media. Let everybody out there know where they can find you on social media.
You can find me at Courtney Black Comedy. That's Courtney Black, like the color, comedy.
Yes, and she's on Instagram, Facebook,
Yes,
all the socials.
and .com. So.
And she's so down to earth, guys. Please follow her. Thank you for tuning in. Stay tuned out there on Maeya TV Land. We have more wonderful interviews coming. So we'll see you soon. Bye.
Thanks.